Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all of you, and we'll move on to the next topic, population forecast. Okay, and we are already familiar for any water supply projects. The first thing is you have to estimate the population. Estimate the population. Okay, because most of the water treatment projects are 25 to 30 years. That's what we have discussed in the last class. Design period. So, with respect to the current population, and you have to project the population, what will be the based on some methods, 2 3 methods, or by exploration, or by say trend analysis, or by graphical method, then you have to forecast the population. Okay, currently in India we have a population of 2011, and maybe likely it will start 2021, but it is not started yet. 2021 they may also go for a one population, and they may give 22 2023 or something. Okay, and if you want to get a population of 2051, now we can take a base data of 2011 of Indian city. Say example, if you are from Ahmedabad, or from say example Trichy, you can take a base data of 2011 and follow these methods what we are going to discuss now, and project what will be the population after 2021, 2031, 2041 or something. Okay, yes, yeah. The present population of a town or a city can be best determined by conducting an official enumeration called census. So that you would have come across. Government may create a policy, they go for a population estimation or population count or something, and they may also engage a lot of enumerators, and they'll also come individually in every house. They'll also tap the data with respect to the number of persons in the house, age, and gender, other factions or something. So that we can call it as a census. Okay. So generally the government carries these surveys at intervals of at least 10 years, about 10 years, called decennial census. So please make it once in 10 years. That's what I told you. 2011 we have data. In 2021 they may start, and they'll give a projections maybe 2023 or 2024 or something. Okay, so 10 years with respect to 1 decade. And design of water supply and sanitation scheme is based on the projected population of a particular city, estimated for a design period. That's what I told. Okay, please make a note on 2 points are important. One is projected population, and for a design period. Okay, so 2011 data is with you, and currently 2021 is going on. Say example, if I want to project design a water supply scheme for a say example satellite city in Trichy, then it could be 2051, because say example 30 years. So now base data of 2011 is with you, and you can project the data with respect to the same trend. Then we get a population of 2021, 2031, 2041 or something. So I can estimate the population at 2051. So that will be taken for your design activities. Okay, and underestimate and also overestimate also have a problem. Okay, underestimation is it will end up with inadequate system, and overestimation will end up with your financial aspects. Okay, so if it is excess, have a problem, overestimation. If it is inadequate, sorry, if it is underestimated, it will also lead to inadequate water supply systems, or inadequate your capacities or something. Okay, so changes in the population over the city over the years occur, and the system should be designed taking into account of the population at the end of the design period. That's what I told you. So please make a note on design period is important. Okay, so the population should be taken into account, that of the population at the end of the design period. Okay, yes. The factors which influence or affect the changes in populations are, that is number one, increase due to birth, decrease due to death, an increase or decrease due to migration, and increase due to annexation. So these are the 4 or 5 points. Okay, so that you just remember: increase in birth rate, decrease in death rate, or there could be an increase in population or decrease in the population due to migration. Okay, so these are the 4 points you have to remember. Okay, so birth rate may decrease because of some government policies. That's number one. Number two, the death rate may decrease with the development of advanced medical facilities and controlling the infant mortality rate. That's what, and also the adult death rate due to control of infections and also other diseases. Now also you would have experienced okay, so infections have started in last March, and government has spent a lot of money on controlling the spread over and also the infections. Thereby they could also reduce the control of death. That's something is important. Okay, so please make a note on. Nowadays is death rate is being decreased, okay, because of advancements in facilities like medical advancements, and infant mortality rate also has been reduced, and adult death rate is due to control of infections and also other diseases. Okay, this is one fact. Okay, 2 points. 3 points is about migration that probably would have come across. Probably people may be in villages, and either they may migrate from village to town, okay, for any like purposes like education, that is number one, and for opportunities. So thereby there could be an incremental increase in population in the cities or developed areas. Okay? So migrations are independent upon the industrialization and commercialization of the particular cities. People generally migrate from villages to cities and also town, where more opportunities for earning livelihood are available. So please make a note on if it is any new development, and for the people's is like opportunities, and also like earning livelihood, and people may migrate from one area to other areas, or from villages to city or villages to town. Okay, yes. And other factors which influence your death rates are the war. That is number one. That is number one. Number two is about natural havocs. Okay, and also by disasters. Okay, so these three will also reduce the populations. Okay, probably you can also compare the situations in US and France because of this COVID-19 situation. Okay, so that is because of this the spread over of disease, and also you can call it as simply as disaster. There could be a decrease in population. There could be a drastic decrease in populations over the years or the years. Okay, yeah. So data collection is very important. Present and past population record for a city can be obtained from census population records. Please make a note on, because without the base data you cannot work on. So these data can be either collected from or obtained from census population records. Okay, if you want to get a population of a city, anyway, that we are going to discuss different methods, and they are going to do activity for a particular city where you are living in, and you can also estimate what will be the population with, and also compare the methods. Okay, you can also visit Government of India site of a census site. You can also note down, or at least you familiar your area, city X or Y with respect to the base data, 2011 data or 2001 data or 1991 data. So that will be useful for like your population projection, okay, for a particular city after this class. Okay, so after collecting these population figures, the population at the end of the design period is predicted using various methods, which is suitable for that city, considering the growth pattern followed by a city. Okay, so please make a note on. You can take a wide selection of different methods to project the population. That is also important based on the growth pattern in a particular city. Okay, yes. So this is the ideal population growth curve, or otherwise you can remember simply a logistic curve. Okay, logistic curve. So let me draw a graph. You just make a note on this. You just follow my the drawing time versus population. In the x-axis is time and y-axis is the population, and it may go like a pattern like this. Okay, you can able to differentiate between. Okay, you can able to mark J, K, L, M, N. Okay, so J and K, where the population trend is directly proportional. dP by dt is proportional to P, population at a particular time, and here in this point, in this portion, dP by dt is equal to constant. Okay, both the portions there you could see like almost is a straight line trend, say straight line trend. So dP by dt is equal to constant, and here the trend will be dP by dt is proportional to PS. PS is meant for saturation population minus P. Okay, so please remember this is something is important, and each and every city may follow a ideal population curve like this. So this curve is otherwise is called as logistic curve. Okay, so please remember J, K, L, M, N in the trend. Okay, this could be almost straight, and you can go to a saturation. Okay, dP by dt is proportional to P here, And here this is the straight line portion, dp by dt is equal to constant, and the last portion dp by dt is proportional to ps minus p. Okay, yes, yeah. So if the population of the city is plotted with respect to time, the curve so obtained under normal conditions look like a S-shaped curve, or otherwise is called as logistic curve. So please make a note on this. Something is important in the examination. In any city, the population curve follows a S-shaped curve, or otherwise is known as logistic curve. Logistic curve. Okay. So please look into the statement. JK initially in the portion JK, the incremental trend is directly proportional. dp by dt is proportional to p that follows a geometric growth or log growth. Okay, please make a note on it. Will follow a log growth pattern or geometric growth pattern. The transitional middle curve k to m. Okay, transitional middle curve, that is km, follows the arithmetic increase where dp by dt is equal to constant. Okay, so please make a note on this portion. Initial portion is logarithmic growth phase, and this portion, the second portion, this is on the arithmetic increase, and the third portion, the later portion, that is Mn, the rate of change of the population is proportional to the difference between the saturation population and existing population. That's what you just remember. Okay, so that's what I have marked here. Please remember dp by initial portion, dp by dt is proportional to t. The transitional portion, dp by dt is equal to constant. The upper portion of the curve, it follows dp by dt is proportional to saturation population minus the population at a particular time. Okay, yes. Okay, so these are the different population forecasting methods. Okay, please look into the different methods carefully, and we are going to solve different problems. And at the end of this class, you may also have an activity. Activity is very simple. You just take out your city where you are living in. Take out the city, find out the population, and try to solve with these methods and compare your population projection. So that is the activity. That just observe. Now if it is any difficulty, just stop me in between. Okay, so this is first method is arithmetic increase method. Second method is geometrical increase method. Third one is incremental increase method. Fourth one is graphical interface or graphical method, and comparative graphical method. Last one is based on master plan, and last one is about whatever the growth curve we have followed, and this may have an equation, and based on that you can project the population at a particular period of time. Is it fine? Arithmetical increase, geometrical increase, incremental increase, graphical, comparative graphical, master plan method, and logistic curve method. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll see one by one. Okay. If you have first one is about arithmetical increase method. Okay, and which is suitable for large and old city. So please make a note on these points are important. Okay, just note down now in which city you are following in, and note down the corresponding points. Best method you can select, and you can also compare. Okay, this method is suitable for a large and old cities with a considerable development. Developments may not be very rapid or too short. It may be a considerable increase in your development with considerable development. If it is used for small or average or comparatively newer cities, and it sometimes give a lower population estimate than the actual value. So please make a note on the second point is also important. Okay, so the first method you can follow for a large and old cities with the comparatively considerable development, and if it is being used for a small or average or comparatively new city, and your projections will be lower than the actual value. Okay, yes, and this method is based on the concept this average increase in population per decade is calculated from the previous past census report. So please make a note on, you can take an average increase in population per decade. Average increase in population per decade is calculated from the past census report. Okay, so this increase in average can be added to the next decade population. Okay, this increase is added to the present population to find out the population to the next decade. So please find, just anyway, I'll show the progress. Please remember, this is for larger cities. If you go with the lower cities, it will have an underestimation, and you can take out the average increase of population per decade. That will be added to the present population to find out the population in the next decade. That is very simple. Okay. Thus, it is assumed that the population increase is a constant rate. So please make a note on dp by dt is equal to constant. The rate of change of population with respect to time is constant. So this is the principle or the concept. Okay, the rate of change of population with respect to time is constant. Okay, yes. So thereby, what you do is now dp by dt is equal to constant. You can assume that dp by dt is equal to k. Simply rearrange dp is equal to k into dt. Go for integration with respect to the year dp, which is equal to k integration of dt k1 to k, sorry, t1 to t2, and this is again p. That is integration limits to p1 to p2, k into t limits t1 to t2. Okay, so you apply the limits now, p2 minus p1, which is equal to k into t2 minus t1. Okay, so t2 minus t1 is his number of decades. Okay, so thereby you can calculate. Okay, so the population data for the last 4 or to 5 decades is therefore obtained, and the population increase per decade is calculated. The average of which is x bar is then used as a design growth rate for computing the future population. Just you remember right now, then we'll see what it is. Okay, with respect to the year. Okay, with respect to the year, say example 2011, 2001, you just find out the difference. Okay, for the previous year data, take out the average of all, then you just add with 2011 plus this average value. So thereby you may get a new population. That's what it has been mentioned. So the population data for the last 4 to 5 decades is therefore obtained, and the population increase per decade is calculated. For population increase per decade is calculated. So 2011 you may have data, 2001 you may have data, 2011 minus 2000, say example 1, you may get a increase in population. That is x. Okay, and even you just go beyond 1991, 1981, 1971 or something, and take out the increase in percentage, that is x, and take out the average. Have you got my point? 1981, 1991, 2001, and 2011. You have a data for a city x. Okay, this minus this will give a value of x. This minus will give a value of x. This minus will give a value of x. And you just find out the average, that you may get a x bar. So what do you do now? And you just p at 2021 is equal to 2011 plus this value, computing this average x bar value. Okay, that's what it is being mentioned. Okay, so p1 is the population after 1 decade from present. So p0, it is your population at 2011, and p1 is equal to p0 plus 1 times of the x bar value. P2 is again, P2 is equal to P1 plus 1 times of x bar. So just substitute the value of again P1, P0 plus 1x plus 1x bar. So you may get P0 plus 2x bar, that is P2. And if you want to have a P3, that is P2 plus 1x bar. Substitute P2 here, that is P0 plus 2x bar plus x bar. So this is again P3, P0 plus 3x bar, P3. So if you go like that, then you may get an equation commonly like this. Pn is equal to population at after n decade, which is equal to present population. That's what I told you. Present population plus n number of decades between now and future. Number of decades now and future. Okay, 2011 you are now, and 2051 you are going. So in between you have 21, 31 and 41. So you may get P 2051 is equal to P 2011 plus 3 times of that average value. So thereby you can project the population as 2051. Is it fine? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we'll see some problems probably that we'll understand better. Okay, yes. Second method is geometrical increase method. Geometrical increase method. here the increase in, so these assumptions are important for the examination. Increase in population from decade to decade is remains constant, is assumed to remain constant. So please make a note on that, is something is important. Increase in population from decade to decade is assumed to remain constant. The assumed constant value of percentage growth per decade is analogous to the rate of interest per annum. Geometric means increase is used to find out the future increment in population. This method gives a higher value and hence should be used or should be applied only for a new industrial town at the beginning of the developments. That is also only for few decades. So please make a note on this. Here it is assumed that that incremental increase in population from decade to decade is assumed to remain constant. Okay, so this is very simple. So P1 is the current population after P1 is equal to population after 1 decade from present. Okay, so P1, that's what I told you. P1 is equal to P0 is the current population plus that constant percentage. Okay, or by 100 of P0. You take out the common P0 out, thereby P1 becomes P0 into 1 plus R by 100. Okay, then you just proceed for 2 years, 2 decades, 3 decades, and you may get a normal equation. If you go with 2 decades, then what you do? P2 is equal to P1 plus R by P into P1. Substitute the P1 here. Then you may get this value square. P2 is equal to P0 into 1 plus R by 100 square. And if I go for a P3, that is after 3 decades. P3 is P2 plus R by 100 of P2. Substitute P2 from the previous equation, this equation, and you may get P3 is equal to P2 into 1 plus R by 100. Okay, 1 by R by 100. Then substitute P2 here. Substitute P2, and P3 becomes now P3 is equal to P0 into 1 plus R by 100 whole cube. Okay, and if you proceed further, you may get a normal equations like this. Pn is equal to, so please make it note on, this is second method. Pn is equal to P0 into 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n, where Pn is equal to population after nth decade and P0 is equal to initial population and R is equal to assumed growth rate. So please remember this formula for the second method projection. Pn is equal to P0 into 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n, where Pn is equal to population after n decades, P0 is equal to the initial population. Okay, that is of the population at the end of the last known census, and R is equal to assumed growth rate. Okay, this is the second method. Okay, this method you can use it for a city which is in growing in trend, the second method. Okay, yes. Third one is assumed growth rate, that you can calculate what is R. You can ask me what is R value. So you have to now calculate the R value based on these methods. Okay, assumed growth rate can be computed in several ways from the past known population data. One of the method is R is equal to, you can calculate square root of P2 by P1 minus 1. Okay, you can calculate R by this method, P2 by P1 minus 1. P1 is equal to initial population and P2 is equal to the final population, and the T is equal to the Tth root of T is equal to number of decades. And if it is the second one, they become 2. And if it is this number of decade between P1 and P2, it is 3, then you can make it 3, a cube root of. Okay, so please remember one method to calculate R value is equal to, R is equal to square root of P2 by P1 minus 1, where you can also remember T value is equal to number of decade between P1 and P2. Okay, the second method, you can calculate the other method to determine the R value is to compute the average of the percentage growth, of several known decades of the past. So growth rate you can directly calculate using this formula, that is increase in population divided by original population into 100. Okay, original increase in population divided by original population into 100. Okay, that is can be computed very easily. Okay, by the assumption that a constant per decade increase. Okay, so the average may be either you can calculate either with arithmetic average or you can go for geometric average. With this also you can calculate the R value. So please make a note on. It's very simple. If it has been assumed that's constant, and if you are using arithmetic average, you can use this formula, that is R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is R3 up to Rn by T, or you can go for Tth root of R1, R2, R3 by a geometric average method. This is by arithmetic average method. Okay, so by this way you can calculate the R value. Either you can use this formula if only two data are known. If multi data are known, you can use either arithmetic average or geometrical average for calculation of R value. Okay, yes. Third method is incremental increase method. Okay, this is a slight modification of arithmetic increase method, and it is also suitable for average size town under normal condition where growth rate is found to be in an increase in order. So please make a note on this concept. Okay, so this method is the modification of the first method, arithmetical increase method, and it is suitable for an average town under normal conditions where the growth rate is found to be in an increase in trend. Okay, and while adopting this method, the increment is considered for calculating future population. You have to estimate increase in increment. Please make a note on. While adopting this method, increase in increment with respect to the previous years is considered for calculating the future population. Now, how to calculate the incremental increase? Incremental increase is determined for each decade from the population, and the average value is added to the present population along with the average rate of increase. Okay, this is the concept. Anyway, just look down the population. If P1 you have to calculate, that is P1 is equal to P0 into, that is P0 plus X bar plus 1 into Y bar. Okay, and P2 is equal to P1 plus X bar plus 2 into Y bar, and substitute the P1 from the previous equation and continue, and you may get a common equation as Pn is equal to P0 plus n into X bar plus n into n plus 1 by 2 into Y bar. So please make a note on. This is the common equation. You need not remember the equations for the examination point of view. You can refer, but only thing is about how logically you are solving the problem is important. You need not memorize the derivations. You need not remember the formulas. You can refer it, but the only thing is about how best or how logical you are to solve a good number of problems based on the different criteria and also assumptions. Okay, so Pn is equal to P0 plus n into X bar plus n into n plus 1 divided by 2 into Y bar. You just refer the equations. Okay, one time probably while solving problem we'll also discuss in detail and how to solve these problems. Okay, yes, so that's what I told you. So P1, you just look into the equation. P1 is equal to P0 plus X bar plus 1 into Y bar. For P2, X bar 2 into Y bar. Substitute this P1 value. Substitute this P1 here. Okay, this can be arranged like this, and you can also simply rearrange 3 in terms of 2 into 2 plus 1 by 2. That's what I told you. N plus 1 by 2. N plus 1 by 2. So this 3 is being replaced as 3 plus 1 by 2. 3 plus 1 by 2. 2, this will go off. You may get only 3Y bar. So slightly rearrange like this. Here also again same thing. Okay. So here you can also these equations into P3 is equal to P0 plus 3X bar into 3 into n plus 1 by 2. N plus 1. 4 plus 1 by 2 it is 2. 3 into 2 is 6Y bar. Okay. So please remember that formula. Pn is equal to P0 plus n X bar. That's what we have written here. N X bar plus n into n plus 1 by 2 into Y bar. So by this way you can calculate with the third method. Okay, yes. So please remember Pn is equal to population after n decade, and P0 is equal to initial population, and X bar is equal to average increase in population for known decades, and Y bar is equal to average incremental increase. Make a difference on what is X bar, that is average increase, This is y bar is equal to average of incremental increase, average of incremental increase of the known decades. Okay, yes. The fourth method is graphical. Probably you would have come across the graphical method is by interpolation. Okay, by projecting the trend. That's what you would have seen now. A lot of trends in trend analysis for the growth, all growth rates, how the financial flow will look like, how the spread of diseases will go like, if it is any, say example, precautionary measures are not being taken, if it is anything on precautionary measures is being taken, how the decline curve will look like. So that's what you would have seen. A lot of models will be there, and you can also project the population based on the extending the trend. Okay, so in this method, the population for the last decades are correctly plotted for a suitable scale. That's number one, first point. Then the population curves is smoothly extended for getting future population. Okay, the extension should be done carefully, and it requires proper experience and also judgment. Please make a note on that's also something is important. Okay, extension cannot be done as it is, but it may require proper experience and also judgment to project the data. Okay, yes. So now you just imagine you have a population is being collected from 1941 to 2011 of a particular city. Okay, and it is being plotted like this, and it is being further extended like this for 2021 and also 2031 by extending the same trend. You would have also noticed these sort of trends also. Okay, so many trends will be. Okay, so if some measures is being taken like this, or if it is anything on, or if it is no control measures are being like, so normally you may get different trends. Okay, so please remember this is very simple. You are extending the same trend with the previous decade for future projections. Okay, this is the graphical method. And last one is about comparative graphical method. And that what you do is you can you may get a population data of say example 4 or 5 cities, city A, B, C, and D. Okay, same. You may get a data for now I'm going to find out what will be the population for a city X. I may not know what is actually, but what I do is I may collect the data of A, B, C, and D of same cluster and mark it like this. You just plot like this, and the same way you can also extend the population of a unknown city like this. Okay, that's what it is being mentioned here. Okay, so in this method, the census population of cities already developed under similar conditions are plotted, and the curve of past population of a city under consideration is plotted on the same graph. The curve of the past population of the city under consideration is also being plotted in the same graph. That's what I told you. A, B, C, and D with the first point, and X with the second point. Okay, so the curve is extended carefully by comparing with the population curve of similar kind of cities having the similar kinds of growth population. So please make a note on that. Something is anyway, I'm not going to explain with the data. So what I do is, so I may get a population. This is A and B and C and D. In the same plot, I may also plot with the city which is on unknown. Okay, and you can also project the same trend of the other city where I can get a population. Have you got my point? This might be the city A. I may also extend like this. I may get a population, say example for 2030 like this, and the same pattern I may also follow for this city as well. Thereby I can able to project what will be the population for 2031 for unknown city. Is it okay? So graphical method and comparative graphical method is only for a rough estimation. It may not give accurate value because we don't have vast data. Okay, and at least for the previous one. Okay, graphical method, because these are trend exploration methods. I can extend the same trend for a particular city, but here it is not like this. Okay, so what I do, I may have a population of A, B, C, D. Okay, and I can also extend in the same plot. I may also do the population trend of the unknown city X, and in the same plot extend the population with, say example, the city A, and the same way I can also extend the the population for the unknown city as well. Thereby, I can able to find out the population at 2021 or 2031. Is it okay? Is it fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
okay.
Can we wind up?
Yeah, I'll stop. Yeah, I'll stop here, and probably in the next class we'll also see other methods, and we'll also see some numerical problems. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So whatever we have discussed so far is this population and how to control the population, and also what are the different factors which influence the death rate, and 4 are different 5 methods. We have started with the first one is the arithmetic increase method, geometrical increase method, incremental increase method, and 2 approximate estimations by graphical and comparative graph method, and last 2 are master plan and a logistic curve that probably we'll discuss in the next class. Yeah, thank you so much.